Oh hi everyone, welcome to this Video Some Frontier video. My name is Jay Wakefield and today I have something a wee bit special for you. Now some of you will recognise this beast as the Packard Bell Legend 406 CD. And today I plan to make a couple of upgrades to it. Now I bought this machine a few years ago and you know, then I bought it about 18 months ago, actually. Was it 18 months ago? Yeah, it was. And then just over 18 months ago, actually. Then when I bought it, I had plans to use it as an MS-DOS and very early Windows 95 era gaming machine. Kind of to play the games that came around, around the time this computer was built. In 1995 and a wee bit earlier, and for the most part that's actually worked out quite well. However, as users and aficionados of Packard Bells of this era will know, it can be really quite difficult to get the factory Aztec Washington Soundcard to actually play ball with some games. Now recently, a customer / contacted mine through Action on Disability actually gave me a box load of stuff. And as part of that box, I was given this. Now this, for you that don't know, is a Creative Labs AWE64 sound card. And apparently, according to the sticky label on the back, it's tested to comply with the FCC standards, which is always good. Now this is apparently the SoundBlaster AWE64 Gold Edition, and certainly you can tell by the connectors on the back that they've actually taken care. You can see there that you've got microphone and line in. No, you've got no, you don't. Let's have a look at what you do have. You've got microphone in and line in. However, the speaker outputs, now there's something to behold. There's something different to behold altogether. You look at these. The phono connectors. That actually means I'm going to have to get a different cable. Whoops-a-daisy. Anyway, never mind that. So yeah, there's these are actually, this is actually, well, it takes the audio seriously. I'm not going to be able to tell if this works at the moment because I don't actually have the appropriate cabling herp-derp. It's not good, is it? Anyway, oh boy. Anyway, so it's got mic in, line in, and then phono left and right channels, and a game port joystick. This is, a sound card not to be reckoned with. And I've decided to put this card in that computer. However, that's not all I'm going to do tonight. What I'm also going to do on this whatever today is, what I'm also going to do on this May the 24th is I plan to install this Ethernet card, which has not only got a an RJ45 connection, but also a coax, so it's an Ethernet card of the old school. Forget what it is, but I know Windows 98 had drivers for it, because while it was still alive, this Ethernet card was in the Abstalgia PC. And obviously when that died, well, this Ethernet card came out. So, without further ado, what I'm going to do is put these cards just to one side, and I need to start unscrewing this system. Now, this case is really quite difficult sometimes to actually remove and to restore, so y'all get a good laugh at my expense. How Billy Core manages to make it look so easy, I will never know. Unless he doesn't actually have Packard Bells. Perish the thought, can you imagine? Right. Already we're running into a problem. I'm going to have to change the head on this. Going to have to change the head on this screwdriver. Although the reason I'm installing an NIC is because I plan, to make it easier to kind of copy things to and from this computer. Are you serious? Here we go. Found a screw that head that fits. I'm really sorry you can't actually see me unscrewing the screw on the right, well, my right hand side. But it's came out. I just needed a different, needed a different screwdriver head. That's what I needed. I thought that case was stuck on good there. Right, hopefully I'll make this a wee bit easier for you all to see. Oh, while we're talking Packard Bell, I would like to thank Billy Core for one of his thank you to all his fan video. Billy, I found that video to be extremely well, it was just one of those extremely good videos, the kind of video that kind of grips you, the kind of story ones. It was amazing. So thank you very much for that. Okay, so that's all the screws off. So there we go. I'm going to remove the back cover, and now to oh my goodness. Okay. So now we are looking at the insides of the Packard Bell Legend 406 CD. And the first thing, I probably should have tied my hair back actually, if I'm honest. Don't do what oh my goodness, I cannot believe this is terrible. On this instance, I'm going to actually ask you not to follow me If you're going to work inside a computer, if you've got long hair, tie it back. You don't want to get a hair caught in it. See, my want to not look like a horse on camera is, could cost me a computer. Anyway, so like up top here, you'll see the sound card, which is actually connected by the ISA bus, and that's how the Creative Labs AWE64 sound card will also connect. Right. However, as you can see here, there's a wee cable. You probably can't see it, but my finger's hooked on it. It's here. And this actually goes to the back of the CD-ROM drive. So that means that if a CD has any audio in it, basically what happens is, some CDs have both audio tracks and data tracks. So like, if you're playing a game, in-game music will be, oftentimes provided by the audio CD track. That's how it was done with a lot of older software. Not just games, but edutainment titles as well. So, first thing I want to do is I want to carefully disconnect the CD audio cable from the sound card. Good, that's sorted. And then the next thing I want to do is unscrew the ISA card from the system. Sorry, once again I've actually pulled it away from the camera. I've merely done it because I'm right-handed and it's easier to unscrew it, and the camera is actually facing to my left. Right, okay, so that is the blanking plate unscrewed. So now what I need to do is kind of pull this sound card away from the motherboard. Well, at least from the riser slot. And that is the Aztec Washington sound card removed from the PC. Now I know that there has been a lot of naysayers to what I'm doing just now. Horses mostly. But also Billy Carr would say that this is taking away from the originality of the system. And I'll tell you something else we're going to lose as well. This is a sound modem card. So this is no longer going to be internet ready. Well, in a sense that, about as internet ready as it could be, in 2013 with a 14.4 kilobit modem. So I am going to keep a hold of this sound card, just in case, I ever want to restore the originality of the machine, or if anybody else is after one, or, for whatever reason. I mean, I know that a lot of people, that don't, I know a lot of Packard Bell collectors, believe that this is, I've just noticed that daughter card there. Is it RAM or is it something else? Look at that. Or as I would say out in Aberdeenshire, a daughter card. Actually put a TH in daughter. Go figure. I mean, this is kind of part of the Packard Bell experience. Oh my goodness, look at all the tantalum capacitors. I wouldn't want those to blow. Look, there's 4 of them. It'd be like a Beethoven exploder that they used down in the mines. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my goodness. Down in the coal mines. But I'm going to keep a hold of it. And I've never seen the Packard Bell so naked. Seriously. Now what I am going to do is, see this. There is a lone PCI slot here. And that's how we're going to connect the network interface card. I probably do have some ISA cards, but at the moment, just can't really be bothered looking for them. However, if I do need to, attach a different kind of PCI card to the system, I will of course remove the network interface and, if I've got one, replace it with an ISA. However, because ISA cards are mounted this way up, whereas PCI cards are mounted this way up. with all the you know, kind of components on the bottom. You know, if you're mounting them with the blanking plate to the left of the actual card, the actual slot itself. So because of that, the hole where the sound card's blanking plate was, well, the sound card's back plate was, is now actually going to be occupied by the network interface card. So what I'm going to need to do, and in fact I'll do this before I've installed the network interface card while I've still got room to work in the system. In fact, yeah, I need to take another screw and unscrew a blanking plate from the case. Now Packard Bell did actually make it so you could actually upgrade your system. Indeed, certainly with the Hillary motherboard's BIOS, you know, you can actually go beyond, I think it's 2 gigs of hard disk space. You have 3 ISA slots, and that's including the one that's actually in use by the sound card. You also have 2 extra memory slots. When I got my Packard Bell, it had the original 8 megs of memory in it. Look at this chromed back blanking plate. I've never seen one of those with a screw hole in it before. It's a bit it's thicker than the snap in snap out blanking plates you get on cheaper ATX cases, but it's not as thick as the steel ones that you get on some systems like the Abstalgia PC, but still good quality. How low has my life sunk that I'm actually comparing notes on PCI card slot blanking plates? Anyway, first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to install the Creative Labs AWE64 sound card. Oh yeah! And I'm going to install it in the second from the top ISA slot. And again, I probably should have more light on this. But there we go, that's a 10, and as you can see, the second blanking plate is now populated with all of that AWE64 golden goodness. And what we're going to do is we're going to screw this into place, so that's not just kind of flapping about the breeze. And I do believe this white thing is the audio CD cable. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug this in, the CD audio cable. I'm going to plug it into this sound card. Now make sure you remember to do that, because like I said, a lot of CDs back in the day were both data and audio discs, and if you don't have the CD audio track, can sometimes detract from what you're trying to do, because it's not just music that gets piped through the CD audio track on data discs. Sometimes it can actually be spoken instructions or just actual audio files that's kind of necessary to listen to. Anyway, so, you know, mind you've got that cable connecting the sound card to the CD-ROM drive. And Blue Planet 64 viewers may remember, when I first got this machine, the original CD drive didn't work, and the only thing I could get hold of at the time was a light-on DVD burner, which was had a black faceplate. And what happened was, I mean, it had provisions for, in fact, it even had the pinout for the audio CD in cable. Out even, not in. It goes in on the sound card, out of the CD drive, in on the sound card. And I was able to plug that in, but it did not actually play the audio CDs through that output. It was literally just a dummy. So when I tried playing an audio CD with that drive on this computer, it just would not work, because it only seems to support playing CD audio discs using, digitally, instead of using the analog method. Anyway, time to move on. The sound card's installed. Now to install the network card. So like I said, this has got to go on upside down. So, I mean, this slot seems to be kind of dual purpose. There we go. Now, I'm not too sure how I like that design, because, you know, it does actually kind of sacrifice the use of, you know, your top ISA slot, or if you have an ISA card in it, sacrifices the use of the PCI slot. But this is an OEM system, so the fact that you can even upgrade it at all, I guess I should be grateful for. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to secure this in. The blooming thing will actually line up with the hole. I'll wait to lose my screw. Ever notice how, I mean, it's like Peter Kay telling the joke about, you know, when you dunk your biscuit in your tea and it breaks. It's like, you ever lost a screw in your computer case? That happens in slow motion as well. It's like, you know, I mean, I'm not a biscuit dunker. I hate it, because you end up with, you know, bits of biscuits in the bottom of your fly cup. You can, but I mean, if you ever drop a screw in a PC case, it happens in slow motion, because you're there trying to hang on to the screw for dear life, and it's like, the screws fell in the case! No! And the reason, I mean, there is a good reason why there's so much panic there, because, I mean, it's like, if a screw fell into this case here, and I managed to rescue the screw before it did fall, but if a screw fell into this case here, and I powered the machine on, the screw could fall against a couple of the traces, and on the motherboard, or any of the other expansion cards, and actually, you know, create a short, which could actually blow, you know, if not a component on the motherboard, then the entire motherboard itself. You know, and that could render this, 18-year-old computer useless. I mean, it's not like I can just go, you know, walk into Northeast Peripherals and go, hey man, you got any of the Packard Bell Legend motherboards, Ken? Ken, I seem to blame mine up. You know, so you do really have to be careful. And even if it was a new motherboard, I mean, they cost money, you know. And if it's not just the motherboard, you could blow components on it. You know, including but not limited to the memory or even the CPU. And CPUs aren't exactly cheap. Even priced up even an i3, you know, they go for about, you know, £90 to £100. So you want to be careful. You know, and it's not just about losing components. Really lost it again there. It's not just about losing components either. You know, it's it could cause a fire. So I mean, you really do need to be careful. You know, when working on computers, that you know you don't you don't inadvertently drop a screw in. Otherwise, you could be literally screwed. I once had a friend at school who tried to solder in. He tried to solder in a fluorescent light into a computer case. It was all going well until he must have really done some sort of a hack job, but it was all going really quite well. Until he powered on and he... Oh my goodness, that screw just actually fell on the floor. I mean, I really don't understand why it doesn't... Not cooperating with me, actually. I don't rightly know what he did, but the motherboard, when he powered on the system, it was one of those with a window in the side of the case. He could actually see two bright lights on the motherboard. And what had happened is the and this is also why you should use heat shrink tubing. The solder points on the lights, the solder points kind of wiring the light up to the power supply had actually, or the connections or whatever, that actually landed, were resting somehow on the motherboard, and that of course, it landed on a couple of traces, just like I described there with the screws, and well, he lost his board. So kind of as a lesson there, this card is it's not properly lining up. I mean, it's installed correctly in a system, but the part of the blanking plate is actually not lining up with the screw hole, so it's making it incredibly difficult, actually. Actually, I think I've got it now. Oh yeah, and if you do drop a screw inside the computer, what you need to do is you need to lift it up. I mean, something did fall out. Oh, something did fall out of here. A washer of some sort. That's not good. You'd lift up the system and just turn it upside down, and then this, and just kind of move it around. Don't vigorously shake it because you could damage the components within, but whatever's stuck in there will fall out. Anyway, it's time for me to do a smoke test. Alright, so we've got the machine hooked up. Now, a couple of things I want to say before I power it on. If you are responsible, if you're a responsible adult, and you know about health and safety, then operating your computer with the lid off for the purposes of testing or troubleshooting can be a good idea, because it's easy then, to go and correct things if something's went horribly, horribly wrong, as it quite often can do. However, I would not advise this approach if you are new to opening up your computer. Make sure, if you're new to opening up your computer, if you don't feel confident, running it with the lid off, button it back up before you actually power it on. However, that does, mean that if anything is wrong, you've got to actually go through the whole process of undoing it and taking the lid off. However, if if you're doing this with young kids around, well, my advice to you is do it in a different room. Because just don't have open computer equipment around young children, because it's not going to be good. If they don't short out the components, they could give themselves a nice 1980s hairdo and some other kind of complications that may go along with that. They might frazzle themselves. That's not what you want. Also, I'm slightly changing the subject now, but I've often found with this machine, I don't know if it's this machine trying to tell me that it's on its way out. Also, it's very dusty. But when I've made changes to the hardware in the past, the machine's just refused point blank to power on. And I've had to correct that by actually unplugging all of the drives from the power supply, starting it up. It will start up and then I can plug everything back in it and it'll be fine. So this could happen this time. Also, you may notice that I've actually connected up a mouse. Normally when I do these smoke tests, I only plug in a keyboard and use a TV as a monitor. There's a good reason I'm using the mouse this time though. It's because, you know, I actually want to go into Windows and see if the hardware has been detected. And although I can navigate Windows with a keyboard, Windows 95 and 98, if there is no mouse plugged in, you can never seem to get them to start up properly. Anyway, time to power this on. So, famous words of UXW Bell, smoke test! Well, that's kind of good. We've got power. Hard disk spinning up. We've got a display, mouse and keyboard both detected. Starting Windows 95. Listen at that quantum fireball hard disk. Oh, it's found the PCI Ethernet controller. What was that the computer books used to tell me about only installing one piece of hardware at a time? I doubt. And it's found it. No drivers for you. So it's quite an old controller, so you know, kind of expected that would be the case. Oh, and just for those who, and just a wee fun fact about this machine, for those of you who've not seen my last videos, this machine actually comes to you directly from the United States of America. Now, I don't actually have any Soundcard drivers, by the way, so, you know, I'm just going to have to see if it actually picks it up. What have I just... Oh, isn't that nice? It's found the Game Boy joystick! Yep, it's... Oh, by the way, I did actually change the CMOS battery in this computer not long after I got it. It's a standard clock battery type. Oh, and then Microsoft Plus is going to tell me off. I tell her every time, no, I do not leave my computer on at night. And oh, that's fine, we won't schedule the task to run. But it does! It does! Go home, Plus! You're drunk! Or I could just delete these from the scheduled tasks folder. There we go. That'll learn it. So it seems to me we have a slightly working Packard Bell Legend Photo 6 CD that now no longer has access to the internet. So there we are. Packard Bell Legend Photo 6 CD now changed beyond all recognition. The hard disk has been upgraded, the RAM has been upgraded, the sound card has been co-opted for a better model, an Ethernet card has been added, a modem has been removed. CD-ROM drive has also been replaced. The only things that remain of this Packard Bell are the case, the power supply, I believe all the cabling, the motherboard and the CPU. As well as a mounting fan, which is very nice. Do you know it's quite warm tonight? Makes a change because yesterday it was actually about 5 degrees in places like Bankery and Lawsey and Elgin all had snow. Me, you had one job. Sorry, Luke, I've once again co-opted your thing. And talking of Luke, he has actually gained Billy Corr's Packard Bell Legend 3540. Such an amazing video, as per usual for LML 3. Welcome to Packard mid-90s Packard Bell ownership. He actually asked Billy to retain the Packard Bell Aztec Washington Soundcard. To not actually include it because he wanted to install a Creative Labs SoundBlaster AWE62, and that is amazing. So I'm hoping this 64 is. I know what a good kind of 90s sound card is because I went ahead and installed an Oriole Vortex 2 into that, and that is amazing. The head disky end sounds fantastic. However, I have lost the internal speaker, if there was one. But at any rate, I know I've lost the front headphone and microphone parts. But, hearing Canny and played on that card, well, it was worth it. So now, I can shut this machine down. And, see this? I can actually go ahead, button it back down, and I'll be able to set it up as soon as I get myself a phono to 3.5mm jack leady thingy. So, for now, this concludes my video. I will, of course, run some tests when I can actually get it hooked up to some sort of a sound source. So I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel, www.youtube.com/videosonfrontier. Instructions on how to do so will of course follow, as will the spelling of Videos on Frontier. If you've not already done so, please feel free to have a wee look around my channel, watch some back episode videos, and I hope to see you all next time for my next video. Thank you for watching, and to quote Luke again, have a good one, everyone.